Everybody doing? How's everybody doing, man?
Well,
We
well,
live.
we live.
We
You know,
Live in the
we live in the
building.
building, man. We live in the building. We got a little tradition we do when we can't do our countdown. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it never gets caught on air, but if it does, Jerry Jones, you know we playing, bang.
yeah,
You know we
yeah,
just playing, man. Stay away from the hoes, Jerry. Stay away from the hoes.
yeah.
But yo, man, it is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building with your daily dose of Dallas Cowboys Uncut, man. And man, I'm gonna tell y'all this right here, man. Between these two guys, they're the Samson of cowboy content, man, because their strength is definitely in their manes and in their hair because they are letting it, they let it bang like they don't care. You feel me? You got HTM Sports over here rocking the. I ain't gonna disrespect him because he said what are they called? So I say it right.
They're called locks. They're not dreads. You know, you do not dread anything about your locks. They're just locks.
Yeah, okay. The non-ether, you know.
So Mike McCarthy, so touchy feely. God damn. Yeah. Then we got my guy Law Nation over here to the left of us, man. And then you already know where he draws his strength from, the beard itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate you, man. It just wisdom come from this and let you know that I've been around the corner, you know, been down that road before.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm gonna ask you a question, man. Is that a little gray or is that a little shine in there?
It's the shine for your mind, man. Let me see.
And guess what? This is
let your soul glow.
Hold on, man. You hit that. You hit the note.
Soul glow.
Now listen to me. If Troy Polamalu can sell you Head and Shoulders, he can sell you something to put on that beard. You feel me? Whoever's listening out there, holla at my boy. Man, he got a beard he need to pay for it. My boy over here got some locks that need to pay for it too. Me, I'm just short. You know how I be frustrated. You know what I'm saying? But yo, hey, you guys already know whenever West Coast goes live, and this rule is actually universal. You know, I say it's whenever West Coast goes live, but it's really whenever any independent content creator goes live, there's just a behavior pattern that you guys should understand that you should do. And those things are, first off and foremost, you got to share the content. The reason why I say you got to share the content is because it's absolutely free. Like landlords say, it don't charge a card, it don't charge you no fee. It don't charge you nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you can't share, I challenge the fact that you even mess with West Coast. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't text me on my birthday. Come on. Come on, man. Listen to me. If my lady after a Cowboy loss don't come up to me and check on me, come on. Man. If I don't get to, baby, you okay? Text.
You okay?
You good? If I don't get that, you might shoot. I don't know.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Yes, indeed. Come on, y'all. Come on.
Man, it's just some mandatory things that just come with this thing that we call being a Cowboy fan. You feel me? It's a mandatory thing. Sharing is caring, man. That's at the forefront of life. You know what I'm saying? We got to share this content, man. You feel me? So hit that share button. If you can't do the next thing, it's all good. But you can for sure do this one right here. What they say, if it's free, it's for me. Or if it's free, it's for you. It is sharing and it's caring. And I want to see you guys aggressively hit that share button. You feel me? Because I'm going to tell you real quick. You're going to share this content to someone who can support it. And that's just as good. You know what that's called? That's called the LeBron James throwing it all up. And then D-Wade throwing the alley-oop and then LeBron slamming it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just need to alley-oop somebody. You feel me?
Yeah, the Shaq to Kobe. Yeah.
Share the content.
Kobe to Shaq.
Yeah, the Dak Prescott to CD Lamb. You know what I'm saying?
Get it.
Neck. You know what I'm saying? You be Dak. Share the content. Someone over there gonna score the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And you all gonna work this thing together. But listen to me, it's some high rollers in here, and not even high rollers. It's some folks that say, you know what? I want to make sure that this Cowboy content keep on going on. Why? Because we know Jerry Jones got several lawsuits that would say that he does tell fibs every now and then. Now, allegedly, I'm just saying the lawsuits will be proof that every now and then he might tell. You know what I'm saying? So since we know that Jerry will tell a field, we need you guys to support this content by ways of Facebook, on Stars, by ways of YouTube, on Super Chats, so that the content can grow. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this is going to be a million comments in this show. It's going to be a bunch of good ones. It's going to be some dumb ones comments too. But I'm going to tell you this right now. No matter how good or dumb your comment is, if it's in yellow or if it's in green on Facebook, oh, my mama. And my mama's a Cowboy fan. I'm going to try my best to read it. I'm going to try. You know what I'm saying? So if you got something that's really, 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 really important, hit that chat that super chat, hit that that start button, hit it, put it in there, and we're gonna put it right here on the show. You feel me?
Oh, also for everybody that's tapping in and showing love over here with me at the liquor store, man, we're still doing a raffle until the 31st of this month for a Dallas Cowboy jersey. So if you want to participate, you want to get your chance to win a Dallas Cowboy jersey of your choice. You know, I ain't gonna be like that. I'm gonna let you choose if you win. So if you're down to do that, man, just hit the Cash App at $Henny and y'all got until now to the 31st to do so. Y'all want to participate.
And what if they say they want a Kelvin Joseph safety jersey?
Then damn it, we're gonna make it happen for him.
Wait. That exists?
It exists now.
What are we, fellas? Did we have a position flex happen at training camp at OTA? Let me listen. I'm gonna call this training camp about 4 more times in the show. Don't correct me. Okay, don't correct me. I'm just really excited because training camp is right down the window. But this is OTAs. It even says it on the damn name. OTAs. It's me. I'm the one that's gonna mess it up. So in OTAs, somebody took a picture of Kelvin Joseph playing safety and hanging out with the safety room. Fellas, what's your thoughts on that one?
Well, coming out of college, he did have that positional flex. He played some free safety in Kentucky. I think that he got the speed. He can play with speed and leverage. Hopefully, he will find himself a home. Sometimes when you are a DB or a cornerback on the island, that could be difficult for you to make that transition over to the pros. And most of the times, they like to put you at safety play. Now that I'm looking back at this, I look at it like, man, Izzy could have stayed at DB or pretty much cornerback, and Kelvin Joseph should have been made that switch if he was having difficulties playing on the edge there.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if I'm not mistaken, he was a 5-star safety coming out of high school, and he did not make the move to cornerback until he got over there to LSU. Was it LSU he started at?
LSU, and then he went to Kentucky.
When he went to Kentucky, yeah. So like he always, he had the issues why he had to leave. So yeah, man. And listen, if you just look at the things that he actually grades out at doing in the NFL, one is not covering. You know what I'm saying? Like I done talked about. The amount of yards, the passer rating given up, touchdowns given up, and his limited snaps, it was not covering. But if you look at him as a run defender, he has a very high tackling grade. He has a very high grade against the run. So that all goes in line with somebody that would be a pretty good safety. So I think it might save his career. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he's right now developmental wise. I don't think he's better than the run Bland. I know it's not saying much. I don't think he's better than Nahshon Wright, because at least Nahshon Wright got his hand on the ball and did not give up 2 touchdowns in a quarter. So I don't think that he developmentally is better than some of these other defensive backs right now. So I think safety would be the move that might actually save him a roster spot.
And I'm gonna tell you this right here: like when he came into the league, my first time out. Pause, man. Hey man, this dude got one. Shout out to man. Look at the trophy. I see it in the back, man.
Oh, you talking about it right here.
hey, listen to me. If you a content creator, if you ain't motivated, you in the wrong business, man. You ain't. Listen to me. I'm motivated like a mug, bro. Thumbnails going dumb. Thumbnails going dumb. YouTube going dumb. I'm motivated, bro.
Let's go, man. Let's get it.
Listen to me.
Yeah, because the way you are motivated will bring more content for the Cowboys community. So it's a win-win situation.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, but listen to me real quick. When Kelvin Joseph came into the league, my thoughts was, LSU is one of them schools where it's like, and listen, there's nothing bad about LSU, but it's like one of them schools. If you get kicked, like Tyrann Mathieu technically didn't even get kicked out of LSU. Like LSU is one of them schools where it's like they're all about academics. Yeah. But if you can play some football, bro, they gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna figure it out. So when I was like, man, that transition from there, then he went to Kentucky, you know what I'm saying? And then just looking at his attributes, everything about him said, one, because I'm gonna tell you, the mindset of a corner in the NFL, especially, a young corner that's expected to play, bro, you got to be really, really smart and on it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, Trevon Diggs, when he gets, listen to me, Trevon Diggs is an all-pro corner, but he doesn't get only scored on by all-pro wide receivers.
Right.
That's how it works. Right. And I'm not trying to, and y'all know Diggs is my dude. So don't take this the wrong when I say this, but I know some dudes right now who scored on Diggs who I don't remember their last name, but I remember their number.
Yeah.
Because that's how it is in the NFL with these young wide receivers, bro. Like everybody can go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I just didn't feel he had the hips for it. And I'm gonna tell you this right here, man. If you don't have the hips for that in college, where like everybody in college doesn't have like a number one. Like most college teams have, unless you're like Alabama or a power school, they have like a good core of receivers, right?
Yeah.
NFL, bro, everybody got somebody making $15-20 million to catch the football. Everybody does. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is putting money into their offense. So it's like, if you can't really do it at a high level in college, it's hard for me to be like, I think he's gonna just grow into that in the NFL. So it's like, that's why I felt like put him at safety, because at least at safety, his skill set is actually faster and better than most tight ends. Like if you line Kelvin Joseph up against every cornerback in the NFL, starting cornerback in the NFL, I mean starting wide receiver, I don't think he's gonna beat too many of them dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's how it goes with Kelvin Joseph. First and foremost, he only had 15 games in college. There's not a long list of games. And one of his claim to fame in college was the game that he put the clamps on Devontae Smith. So when you start looking at it, okay, hey, he did really good against him. That is a guy that was a first-round draft talent. That is a guy that everybody got to say to themselves, hey, this is pretty good. And Kelvin Joseph held his own on that one. Now that you go to the pros, and now you got issues off the field, and you got other things that could be stirring around in the Cowboys locker room and beyond, then you lose concentration. And HTM will let us know, shoot, you play DB or wide receiver? What position you play?
You wouldn't believe it. I was an offensive lineman a couple.
You O-line. Oh my goodness. Wrong.
O-linemen always become small and wide, Landlord was a wide receiver.
Landlord, wide receivers get big.
He looked like a D tackle to me.
So what I'm trying to say here is that with DBs, skill guys on the outside, it's got to do with confidence. If you lose confidence, shoot, you will melt down. And I'm seeing that with Kelvin Joseph. He kind of lost his confidence and he was overanalyzing, overthinking. So now that if he going to the safety spot, your number one goal as safety is the last line of defense.
Yeah. And
keep everything in front of you.
Yep. And somebody said, well, can Kelvin Joseph tackle? I'm like, well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I almost put if Kelvin Joseph continues to do what he did on special teams next year, he'll be a Pro Bowl special teamer. Because and this isn't even no cap, but think about this. San Francisco 49er game. You need a turnover.
Yeah.
Who got that turnover for you?
Kelvin
Kelvin Joseph did it.
On special teams, yeah.
Special teams. Going down. And also look at the traits he was doing. He was going down looking for the football. He wasn't covering. He had no responsibility. His own responsibility was what? Smack the mother effer who got the ball.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what that sounds like to me? J-Ron Curse.
Well, listen,
safety.
I'm going to say this. We were talking about Dan Quinn putting players in their best position to succeed. I don't take Pro Football Focus, at face value. I don't always agree with their grading scale. But, in terms of coverage, he was a 44.1. In terms of run defense tackling, he was an 82.7.
Jeez.
He gave a passer rating of 149.3 when targeted. He had two stops. He had 2 stops on defense. He had 11 solo tackles. That sounds like somebody that got it done tackling. So, if you want to put the boy in the best position for him to succeed, limit the amount of times he actually got to go down the field and cover. Let him be in the box. Listen, he got some work in at nickel. And we all know our safeties on this team, they play a lot of big nickel forwards, like Donovan Wilson, like J-Ron Curse, so on and so forth. So, if he's able to play in the slot, if he's able to be a box safety, not even necessarily a free one, that might actually be, conducive to him being successful going forward.
Yeah,
And listen, I was
and it
very critical
shows
of him too. So
it shows this is a last hope type of move, right?
yeah,
Like, damn, man, you didn't show us a good thing on the outside. Let's see if we can put you at safety. Let's see what we can do with you. Let's see if we can squeeze any second round talent out of you, juxtaposed to you only playing at the special teams way. So let's see how this thing can all rock out.
right.
And I mean, let's just be real, man. Like Kelvin Joseph, our top 3 cornerback positions are taken. If you're Kelvin Joseph, you're volunteering to go to the safety room. Hell, you mean there is no more chairs in a cornerback room. there's no chairs, bro. Like,
hey, shout out to Rumor Hernandez for the donation, man. I appreciate you.
Donation, appreciate you.
I'm thinking about this, bro. Like, and Kelvin Joseph, technically, he would be Anthony. Would he be Anthony Brown's? He would be Anthony because Nahshon Wright is.
Nahshon Wright is a boundary, so he'll be either behind Gilmore or Diggs, depending on which side they feel strongly about him on.
Yeah, because you got your field side and you got the boundary side. And I just look at it like this, man. They got Miles Brooks, and then, of course, they got the Eric Scott Jr., who pretty much he can
they
fit.
Traded up for the boy, didn't they?
Yeah, it traded up for him. So they didn't do that just for nothing. Yeah. And then you still have the possibility of DeRon Bland playing on the outside. Although in OTAs today, they said he primarily still played inside. So this, regardless of how we look at it, this is still a good problem to have.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the game is, you can. One thing about versatile players is if injury or anything like that happens, you can always go back and forth. But I will say this: the Dallas Cowboys, you need to have something behind Donovan Wilson, Jaron Kearse, and Malik Hooker. The reason being is because I know one game where all 3 of those guys was on the sideline and they were hurt. Now this wasn't for a whole entire game, but there was literally a moment where all 3 guys was on the sideline because each one of them were dinged up. So it's like the way Dan Quinn uses his safeties, like you gotta have because Jaron Kearse's body is not really designed to do what he's doing. He's doing it because he's just a DAWG. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Donovan Wilson, I'm gonna be honest with you. Donovan Wilson is DAWG, but his body is not designed to do that. Not consistently.
They 209 pounds.
Yeah, and that's why you have the Marquise Bells of the worlds, and you have Izzy, you have also Malik Hooker, and of course Donovan Wilson in that safety room. So, hey, regardless, I think that the Cowboys made a good decision with the 3rd pick of picking up Overshown because he's a guy that can go hook the flat, that can give you some coverage ability too. If you need in a pinch for him to be your safety, he can be that extra set of eyes out there on the field that won't give up that much real estate on the field as well.
And he's bigger, man. Like that boy is the same size. I don't know about his arm length and stuff, but he had the same measurables as Fred Warner. He's 6'3", 230.
True. And moving, fluidity, however you say that word, fluidity, So I think that, man, the Cowboys did a great job, man, in this draft. Someone asked me that earlier.
All right, real quick, man. I'm gonna tell you. Let me do this. Let me swing to this. Hey, something else that I was very, very interested to kind of talk about too is Tony Pollard, man. Tony Pollard was out there getting reps with the first team offense. Now, obviously, he is our first string running back, so it would make sense that he would be out there with the first team offense. But just hearing about a guy with a broken fibula out there, what is that? How many months is that? Like 3 months away removed from surgery?
I think they said 4.
4?
Something like that.
Okay, now y'all, listen. I don't hate on nobody, but I am the guy that likes to point out actual facts. You know what I'm saying? And I was never hating on him when I said I'm curious to know if he'll be ready for training camp. Looks to me as if, there's a strong possibility that he will be. But as I said, I will still say this. Michael Gallup taught me a lesson that I promised myself that I would never forget. And that is when it comes to injuries, they need their time. It's just what
indeed
their time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What was y'all thoughts on seeing Tony Pollard out there working with the first? Well, actually, he was working with the first. He looked like he was working with the first team, but Dak is standing off the sideline. Well, there go Dak. No, he was not working with the first team. That's the second team offense. But because that's the second team defense too. But what were your guys' thoughts just seeing Tony Pollard out there in general?
Well, I'm just happy the boy moving around. And listen, just so people, for proper context, the proper context is always what I want to give when I speak. They were not out there going full speed. Matter of fact, Mike McCarthy got in trouble the last couple of seasons for working them too hard during OTAs.
That's
So
why Dak was so adamant about we did not break the law. We did not.
He got fined. He got fined a couple times. So
Dak was adamant about it, boy.
So they took it slow. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't going out there going full speeds. But it's good to see him running. It's good to see that he's able to put some weight on that leg. And a couple months removed from now be September. So he should be. I'm not a doctor or a medical expert, but from the looks of it, he should be a full go by the time the season starts, and that will be a big pick me up for this offense, especially with the fact that this offense is going to be very run heavy. Predicated on the run and the play action pass. So to have somebody of Tony Pollard's skill set out there is definitely going to be crucial, especially since we don't really know what we got in our other running backs. I don't really know why I can get out Malik Davis, for a prolonged amount of time. We haven't seen Deuce Fun yet. I don't think that Ronald Jones is that good. I told y'all he was a camp body in my opinion. So the fact that Tony Pollard, your lead dog, is moving around, looking healthy, I love it. Like that's the step in the right direction for us. We really be dependent on them.
Well, those are great observations. I would say this for those who are out there watching. OTAs is organized team activities. So you're not going to get everything at 100%. They are still doing some installments, by the way. And running backs are one of the hardest things to grade because there's no contact. There's no tackling to the ground. There's no, hey, this is what you would actually do if someone blitzing through the A or the B gap. So you really would not get a bead on any of these guys as far as the running backs until probably preseason 2. Game, so everything is very vanilla. Hey, they could put a helmet on me and I would look good out there at OTA. But look at Law, man. I knew he still could play. Look at West Coast, man. They can put us out there, man, and we would still look like we can move around and do some things as it relates to running back. So we will find out down the stretch on whether or not these guys can and can't do anything, and it will be an old wait and see with Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I like how you said preseason game number 2 and not even training camp, because training camp at the beginning you're not gonna be able to tell either.
Everybody gonna be like, yeah, and get up.
The first week of training camp, everybody's gonna have a hamstring injury.
Right. Yeah.
That's just mandatory. Like everybody gets a hamstring first. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's really in the shape that they think they're supposed to be, or they think that they are when they get to training camp.
But West Coast, them old school coaches, they'll slip $100 to that linebacker. Hey, test that running back next time he come through dancing. But that's old school. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't saying any bounty is going on in this Dallas Cowboys situation.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Like one thing that I got it. Like something that I will be encouraged to see with Tony Pollard is in 2023. Is he gonna have a brace on that leg, man? Is he gonna have a brace? You know what I'm saying? Because it looked as if he had a brace out there today. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested because what I've learned about players wearing braces and wearing those types of things, it brings more attention to an injury that they're trying to get over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest with you, one of the mental things that I would like to see Tony Pollard going into training camp is being able to is there a time where he doesn't have that brace on? You know what I'm saying? Because when Zeke guys heard that brace, that mug never came off. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you also saw a different Zeke. Players just don't play the same when they're favoring an injury. So I'm curious to see how that works out with. But I mean, obviously, I want the best for Tony Pollard because I honestly think that Tony Pollard has to come back better than what he was because his responsibility is now greater. You know what I'm saying?
He's on the contract, even though they gave him $10 million for that franchise tag. Hey, all eyeballs on him. If the Cowboys don't extend him, he's playing on a job interview, Wes and HTM, for all 32 teams. Man, when you play under that franchise tag, that is exactly what it is.
I'm gonna just say this: like, if Tony Pollard does what we expect him to do, he will not be a Dallas Cowboy next year.
True.
Listen, we're going to be moving to a West Coast offense. There is a reason why the coaches used to refer to this as the long handoff. Like we would talk about Tony. Hey, the West Coast. You would talk about Tony Pollard getting a chance to catch the ball. Like, shoot, theoretically, he should have a career year in receptions, and he'll probably have, close to 1,000 yards again this season. If not, I can
play so good, that.
Hey, you can't
we
afford
be like, you better not pay that man $90 million. Definitely, it's a good problem to have, but it's a situation for us. We want him to play so good for us to say, you know what, pay that man when you traditionally don't want to pay no more running backs anymore.
Right. And listen, like, that's one of the reasons I would have preferred the Dallas Cowboys to get a long-term contract done with Tony Pollard, because they were already trying to suppress the running back market. And then they turned around, and not that they turned around, but then he turned around and got injured. So they were already suppressing the running back market. He had broke his leg. You know what I'm saying? You had all the leverage in these talks, and you franchise tag him. So now, theoretically, you're overpaying him, right? Not saying that he's not a good running back, but you got Josh Jacobs making $10 million. Aaron Jones had to take a pay cut. They're talking about trading Derrick Henry. Dalvin Cook is supposed to hit the free agent mark. He's supposed to get cut around June the 1st if the rumors are true. So you had all this leverage. They don't really want to pay a running back. They're actively trying to suppress it, and you give this man $10 million fully guaranteed while injured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That doesn't make no sense. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you something too. That's kind of crazy. I don't even think the Cowboys are contemplating signing Tony Pollard next year, because Tony Pollard is 26 years old right now. When he re-signs next year, he'll be 27. Well, guess what? Zeke is 27 right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they didn't want to sign Zeke, if they didn't want Zeke on that type of money, why would they do Tony Pollard?
Like I said, unless he takes the door off the hinges this year, and it'll be a situation like that.
Right.
Or
they Green for the donation. I appreciate you.
Or unless they do this right here and give him a 3-year contract right now, and pretty much they don't rescind the franchise tag, but I think that they can still work into a contract right now, even though he already signed it. So they can still work in a 3-year deal with him right now, but it'll have to be really team friendly.
Yeah, and like, I honestly, I just don't think that they're gonna re-sign Tony Pollard. It just
no.
It doesn't make, because think about this. If you wanted to re-sign him, why would you not re-sign him now while he's hurt? This is the cheapest you'll ever get him.
Yeah, listen, what if he has a good season? Let's say he makes another Pro Bowl. He'll be a back-to-back Pro Bowl selection. He'll probably have back-to-back seasons over 1,300 yards all purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll have a market out there. Somebody will want to pay Tony Pollard some money. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know, man. Because you think he gonna? I mean, look at the boy Miles Sanders, man. You think Miles Sanders was a guy where I would have thought would have been able to get a little bit of money, and he's only making $6 million. And then
I'm talking about giving him a long-term contract. I'm not saying they're gonna break the bank.
Oh yeah. He might. Yeah.
I think that the NFL is, they got their thoughts on running backs, and they devalue running backs. And right now you got Zeke on the street, you're right, and you got Austin Eckler, who decided to say, okay, yeah, I'll finally play under this contract. Just give me $2 million incentives. That he was literally on the street just of last week. So it's one of those things, y'all, that, I think the NFL kind of looking at running back saying, hey, man, we can go in the draft and draft one.
Facts. And to be honest with you, it's like, it also, you need to understand what you're going to use your running back. If you're going to be using your running back as a bell cow, then you need to go draft a guy in the first round. That's first round talent. But if you know that you're going to be using a dual threat, then you might not want to spend a first round pick. You know what I'm saying? You might not want to spend a whole, top like Atlanta. Atlanta got the boy from Texas. Bro, I had better not hear about nobody talking about sharing carries. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, with that picture, he should be the bell cow. Yeah, but the team that I'm gonna be looking at will be, I'm looking at Miami and seeing how they're gonna utilize their running game, because they got a lot of running backs, as well as Seahawks. They got a lot of running backs over there, nice ones, and they drafted a guy in the second round, I believe. Zach
Hey,
Charbonnet.
I'm gonna tell you something about the Seahawks. The Seahawks is a team that has quietly led the NFL a few times in rushing. Like the year we played them in 2018, they were the #1 rushing team in football. And think about this, they've never had a lead, they've never had a like an individual who led the league in rushing. It's always been the entire team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because that's they did good running the ball last year, and that's post Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? So
it proves that when you have a system and a philosophy, you just roll with that. And just like, for example, in the last 2 or 3 years, the Niners been the same way. They've been a team that's been top in offense with musical chairs at quarterback. Mm-hmm. They keep their philosophy. They keep their principles. So hopefully, man, even with this particular team, we can start utilizing and using West Coast schemes and principles. And regardless of who's back there, we can get back to systems and schemes where it doesn't matter. Anybody could actually run and look good back here. Hopefully that will be our case too.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick, like, because I think there's this narrative out there, people that say they're rewarding Tony Pollard. Like, listen to me. They didn't reward Tony Pollard. You don't reward him by not giving him a long-term contract. Now, I'm gonna tell you, to people, now, hey, when I say this, I'm not trying to offend nobody. But to us broke folks, $10 million, that's a whole lot of money. It's a whole lot of money. But you got to see it like this. In NFL, my homeboy just retired. You know what I'm saying? The homie Todd Gurley just retired, right? Bro, Todd only played like 8 years in the NFL. Now, when you think about it, I was at the camp with him a couple weeks ago, and I was just picking his brain and stuff. And he's just saying, like, well, people, like, one of the struggles that people don't understand about being an NFL player is the money you make in 6 years has to last you 80.
Yeah, 80.
Ain't nobody trying to get a job. Like, what?
Yeah. And Uncle Sam, he's going to get 33 1/3%. So y'all calculate 33 1/3% of that money that he got, and then you're gonna splurge a little bit. The only person that still got his money, I'm gonna bring him up just a little bit because I talked to his trainer the other day, and you talk to him all the time, Wes. Jalen. Jalen still got every penny.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Jalen Smith made 40 bands with West Coast, man. I ain't gonna tell you how he did it, but what Jalen made over 40 bands with West Coast. I know
he ain't spending it, man. He still got his third grade money, lunch money.
Like, yeah, Jalen Smith is definitely a dude. Like, he's gonna be one of those Kirk Cousins dudes where it's like, bro, go look at how much money Kirk Cousins made over his NFL career. Right. It's ridiculous, bro. Kirk Cousins has made a ridiculous amount of money playing football. It's ridiculous.
Hey, before I bounce, man, let's talk about this offensive line because I got another show at the top of the hour.
Hey, can I? You want to do? Let's do O-line then. I had a question. I had something else I want to throw at you, but it's all good.
No, you can throw it at me. It don't matter.
I was trying to find a picture, but I couldn't find it. But I want to know, what are y'all thoughts on PFF and these NFC East, these NFC rankings, bro? They refuse to put Dak higher than 3. And they refuse to acknowledge that Dak has never lost to Jalen Hurts. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we've lost to Kirk Cousins.
Once.
They have one time. Bro, they have Dak as the 3rd best quarterback in the NFC, and they have Jalen Hurts and Kirk Cousins over him. I'm like, bro, they are not watching Cowboy games. Dak 41. Dak dropped 40 points on both them dudes, bro.
Yeah, it's sad, man. Everybody else, this is how they grade Dak Prescott. Everybody else, they will use either total body of work, right? And they say, okay, this is how it is, or they will use individual one season work, to propel them. So Dak Prescott, they use selective stats with him, and they don't use total body. And then they would say, okay, now this off season, they say, okay, this is who he is, 15 interception guy, right? Mm-hmm. But before then, it was like, hey, man, what can he do a little bit more? Can he prove it a little bit more? And if you look at Justin Herbert, right? They using, last year he made it to the playoff. Now he's this great thing. The same thing with Jalen Hurts. They using, last year. I thought that you have to have at least 3 consecutive years before you can start putting people high up on the list. But now is all of a sudden, let's just use his last year for Jalen Hurts and use his last year for Justin Herbert. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's stupid. But listen, they cannot use Dak Prescott's body of work because if they did, they looked at his career numbers, you know, they would have to actually recognize him as one of the best modern quarterbacks in NFL history. Dak Prescott is currently 9th all-time in career passer rating. He has a better career passer rating than Tom Brady and Tony Romo. They don't talk about that. He has a top 10 completion percentage all time. He's top 10 in touchdown to interception ratio, top 10. He's actually top 25 in career win percentage. You know what I'm saying? So Dak Prescott is a winner. Like he's top 10 in production. And, you know, he's actually on pace to break all the Dallas Cowboys passing records in the next 3 years. He'll pass Tony Romo in total yardage in the next 2.5 years. And he'll pass him in touchdowns in the next 3 years. You know, if he stays healthy and he stays on the team. So, you know, like Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback. When you line him up against everybody else out there. But, you know, like you said, they will nitpick and they will try and find, you know, very obscure categories to try and say that Dak Prescott is not that guy.
Yep. And then it was cool. Like, this is the craziest thing. So when I did the whole comparisons of Dak Prescott first 6 years or 7 years to Peyton Manning, oh, it's a different era, right? So when you listen to the people when they was comparing Peyton Manning to Dan Marino, oh, it was cool when they was doing it, you know what I'm saying? But it was a different era, you know what I'm saying? So when you should go in and start utilizing different eras, right? So here's the craziest thing of it all. It's like, it's cool to compare other quarterbacks to different eras, but it's not cool to compare Dak Prescott to those different eras because they said the football field and changed and the rules and regulations changed.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you also, you know what that also means too is like, you also have to acknowledge then that Dak Prescott has a higher expectation than those guys too. Then,
yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, think about this, like, you know, these other guys, they didn't come in with the expectation of we gonna, you know what I'm saying, that Dak Prescott. And I'm gonna tell you, I think the thing that hurt Dak honestly was success, man. Like early success will it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt you, but to people who feel that success just comes, like, it's almost like the conversation we were having before we went live, man. Like people who think that we just like, oh man, they just hit the button and go live and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People, Dak Prescott had that early success 2016, and then that was always been the expectation. Now, obviously, we want that to be the expectation, but let's just be realistic. Nobody has won the Super Bowl or won a championship every single year. That's just not that's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? Where these other guys have come in, like Dak came in the league and was kicking ass. You know what I'm saying? These other guys came in the league and was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like moving it on and kind of getting better. Like think about this. Like even Justin Herbert had to kind of find his way, you know, do his thing. You know, now he's looked at as that, but Dak came in automatically smacking. Justin Herbert just went to the playoffs this year, even in the league 4 years.
Right. Came into the league with Keenan Allen and also with Mike Williams. You see, and with a running game. So it wasn't an offensive line. Right. And this was their first year being able to get to the playoffs. And, you know, I get it all what people are saying. You know, is Dak Prescott or Justin Herbert? No. But is Dak Prescott? No. Everybody is isolated in their own bubble. But what people fail to realize, the first 4 years, Jason Garrett was Dak Prescott coach. Can you name me a team that Jason Garrett went to and was successful since he left the Dallas Cowboys?
Nobody.
I will flat out wait. He can't find a job, you know, outside of talking on TV. So it's crazy how people just forget everything and say, all right, y'all making excuses. All right, they keep moving the goalposts. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Also, you know, piggyback on what Wes said about Dak Prescott being held to a higher standard, where like they were throwing out when they were comparing the Dak Prescott Peyton Manning thing. Well, Peyton Manning won an MVP in that time frame. Peyton Manning MVP season, he had 4,267 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Dak Prescott, you know, in 2021 had over 4,400 yards, 37 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions, and they won almost the same amount of games. So Peyton Manning got an MVP for his performance, and Dak Prescott didn't even get voted to the damn Pro Bowl.
And let me say, I love the comments, man. We ain't attacking the comments. We just setting stuff straight. Dak Prescott did not win with no team that should have won no Super Bowl. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. In 2021, we were 27th against the run. We had 3 games that season where we gave up 300 yards plus versus the run. Slap yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you what the Dallas Cowboys have been. We've been just good enough. And guess what? When it was time to be great, the team was not, man. That's why we fell to the same team the same way. But guess what? Guess what? The last 3 years, we've been blaming the wrong person. I am encouraged that the Dallas Cowboys, they fired the right man. And you're not even going to see a better Dak Prescott. You're just going to see the real Dak Prescott. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Imagine living under the thumb of someone. Well, that's what he's been doing with Kellen Moore as his offensive coordinator. If you don't believe me, go watch that Jalen Tolbert interview, man. Because you know what I keep hearing in everybody's interview about offense? The word simple.
Yeah, just make it simple, man.
Simple.
And old folks say this, not everybody's lying. So my West is calling it out. My guy, Boss Cowboy, been calling it out. We've been all calling it out. And we get it, right? We know that the Cowboys front office fell in love with an idea. Just because you fell in love with the idea doesn't mean that it will work.
Facts. Like my mom said, you can be immensely wrong about something. You're sincerely wrong about something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yo, man, I know you got to get up out of here, man. We appreciate you for coming on here, Law. I thank you, man. We're going to get up out of here, man. You guys already know what it is. Hey, he's doing a show right now. The final word is about to be coming on in about literally 1 second. So let me get him out of here, man. And I just want to let y'all know, you guys already know what it is. Never look down because stars up. Peace.
Peace.